Welcome to episode 357 of AI Brief.
Today, we are unpacking some really significant moves. We're looking at the biggest hardware company making a major play into open models.
We're also digging into how leading AI systems are just dominating high-stakes finance exams.
And we have a new study that reveals how professionals are actually using AI agents for knowledge work.
We'll also cover all the rest of the day's critical AI news and finish up with a look at today's trending productivity tools.
All right, let's jump right in. The first story is a really big strategic moment from Nvidia.
Right, the company we all know for chips. But this is different. They've just made their most significant push yet into developing frontier models themselves.
And what's so fascinating here is the sheer scale and, the strategy behind it. They've launched Nemotron 3.
Which is a whole new family of open models.
Exactly, an open model family designed for a very specific purpose, building these complex multi-agent AI systems.
It feels like a clear move to control more of the software stack, not just the silicon. But I have to ask, if your main business is selling chips, why release a top-tier model that others can use, potentially for free?
It's a brilliant play for stickiness. I mean, think about it. By giving away the model, they're making sure the world's most advanced open source development happens on their platform.
On their hardware?
On their hardware. They're publishing the training data, the fine-tuning tools, all of it. So if you want to build cutting-edge multi-agent systems, the fastest path is using the Nemotron framework.
Which, of course, runs best on Nvidia GPUs, just locks everyone in.
It secures their future, and that makes the lineup itself pretty revealing.
It's three sizes, right? There's the Nano, which is 30 billion parameters and out now.
Then a Super at 100 billion, and then the big one, the Ultra model, at 500 billion parameters.
But that one's not coming until 2026. A 2-year wait seems significant. Does that mean it needs hardware that doesn't even exist yet?
It absolutely does. I mean, training a 500 billion parameter model is a monumental task. Pushing that release to 2026 suggests they're timing it to showcase their next major chip architecture. It's a way to build demand for future hardware.
And the performance of what's available now is already pretty impressive. The Nano model is beating similar size models like Qwen 330B on coding and instruction following.
Yes, and here's where it gets really practical for developers. The Nano model generates responses over 3 times faster.
3 times. That's not just a number, that changes the economics of it all.
Completely. If you're building a multi-agent system that needs multiple calls to the model, that speed difference is huge. It means a task can finish in under a minute instead of, say, 4 minutes. Speed is efficiency. Speed is revenue.
Which explains the fast adoption we're already seeing. Cursor is using it for coding.
Perplexity for search, ServiceNow for enterprise automation.
And even CrowdStrike for cybersecurity. It's not a hobbyist tool. It's going straight into production.
It's a clear sign of that convergence between the hardware and the model development.
Speaking of rapid acceleration, let's pivot to high finance.
Yeah.
AI reasoning models have, well, they've absolutely crushed the chartered financial analyst exams.
This is a huge signal. A new study shows 6 leading AI models can now pass all 3 levels of the CFA exams. This is a massive leap in capability.
The scores are just, they're eye-opening. Gemini 3.0 Pro scored a record 97.6% on the level 1 exam. That's not just passing, that's total mastery.
And the testing was broad. It covered 980 questions across GPT-5, Gemini 3.0 Pro, Claude Opus 4.1, and others.
GPT-5 actually topped level 2 with 94.3%.
And Gemini 3.0 Pro got 92% on the hardest part, the constructed response section, the essays.
But here's where it gets really wild.
Yeah.
If you look at the timeline, just 24 months ago, in 2023, a model like GPT 3.5 failed the first 2 levels.
And even the cutting-edge GPT-4 at the time only passed level 1.
So to go from struggling to near-perfect scores across all 3 levels in just 2 years, that shows an exponential curve that is just shocking.
It really does. Earlier studies, like one from NYU, showed models passing, but with scores in the 70s, just scraping by. This jump to 97% proficiency is something else entirely.
So what does this mean for a human financial analyst? Their job has fundamentally changed overnight.
It has. The value proposition has shifted. It's no longer about who can recall and calculate the best. The AI can do that flawlessly.
So the value pivots to the human skills.
Entirely. To things like nuanced client judgment, relationship management, building trust, things a model can't replicate. The machine frees you up to focus on the truly human side of the profession.
That focus on how knowledge is applied, brings us right to our third big update, a really interesting study from Perplexity and Harvard on how people are using AI agents in the real world.
Yeah, this one looked at users of Perplexity's comment browser, and the key finding sort of challenges that initial idea of agents being for simple lifestyle tasks.
It turns out user activity is heavily centered on cognitive work and research.
Right, not booking flights or ordering groceries. Over half of the queries involve things like summarizing dense documents, editing, and even help with coursework.
People are using these tools to do their actual difficult jobs.
And the user demographics really back this up. The heaviest users were professionals in tech, academia, marketing, and finance. The adoption rates even correlated with things like GDP and education levels.
I think the most telling part was the behavioral shift. The study showed that users who started with casual queries, like travel planning,
They quickly migrated toward heavier knowledge work later on.
once you trust it with something simple, you start offloading more complex tasks.
Exactly. It shows these agents are moving into the core of professional life, which has some pretty profound implications for knowledge work.
Okay, that covers our 3 deep dives. Now let's shift our focus to the other rapid-fire updates from today. We'll take a slightly slower, more measured rhythm for this section.
First up, in workplace tools, Zoom has launched its newest AI assistant, AI Companion 3. This is a pretty big move into full agentic capabilities.
It's designed to turn meeting chatter into actual deliverables. It captures takeaways, generates post-meeting reports, and integrates directly with tools like Google Drive or OneDrive.
And it's available in paid plans or as a standalone web tool.
Now, in the open source world, there was a cryptic post from Omar Sanseviro, who is the developer experience lead at Google DeepMind.
He teased a big release on social media, sparking a lot of speculation about a potential Gemma 4.
And the Gemma models are significant because they're based on the same tech as Gemini, but they're small enough to run on local devices like phones and laptops. A Gemma 4 would be a big deal for on-device AI.
On the cultural front, Merriam-Webster officially named slop as its 2025 word of the year.
The definition is digital content of low quality that is produced usually in quantity by means of AI. I think we've all encountered that.
It's a sign that the sheer volume of AI output is having a real societal impact.
Meanwhile, the U.S. government is launching a new push called Tech Force.
This is an effort by the Office of Personnel Management to recruit 1,000 early career AI and software workers into federal government jobs. They're trying to close that talent gap.
We also saw an update to the AI agent platform, Manus, with version 1.6.
This new version adds mobile app development and a visual design editor, making it easier to create complex apps with just natural language.
And in the world of commerce, Klarna has launched something called the Agentic Product Protocol.
It's an open standard that gives AI assistants access to over 100 million products across different merchants, which should make AI-driven shopping much smoother and more secure.
Finally, AI2, the Allen Institute for AI, released OMO 3.1. It's an upgraded version of their open source model, and the lab is claiming it's the strongest fully open reasoning model out there.
The competition in open source is really heating up.
That brings us to our final segment, a quick look at some trending AI tools you might want to check out for your own work.
We have to start with the ones from today's stories. First, Nemotron 3. Nvidia's new open source models are trending because they're purpose-built for creating those multi-agent systems we talked about.
Then there's the Gemini Deep Research Agent. This is Google's tool for heavy-duty research. For those long-running tasks where you need to synthesize information from dozens of documents.
We also mentioned Manus 1.6, which is trending because of those new performance upgrades, and of course, the new mobile app development features.
For media creation, a couple of tools are taking off. There's XPTX, which creates professional presentations with just one click.
And for video, there's Yali. It's getting a lot of attention for generating cinematic AI video that includes realistic sound and some really lush visuals.
On the developer side, especially for mobile, check out a0.dev.
Right, it's a tool that uses AI to help you not just build, but also ship mobile apps to the App Store and Play Store much faster.
And finally, a new integrated workspace called NodeJam is getting a lot of traction. It lets you create and edit documents, spreadsheets, and slides all in one single interface.
So you don't have to keep switching between apps. That's a huge stack of new tools hitting the market all at once.
It is. And if we step back for a second, the big takeaway today is that definitive merging of hardware and models. Nvidia is dissolving the line between the chip and the AI with Nemotron.
And you see the immediate result of that power in the professional world. AI models acing the CFA exams in just 24 months is maybe the clearest signal yet that knowledge work is changing right now.
It really forces you to think about where your time is best spent, especially since that Harvard Perplexity study confirmed that professionals are already offloading their heaviest cognitive work to these agents.
And that leads to a really important question for you to think about this week. If the machines can master all the standardized knowledge to become a chartered financial analyst, what's the core body of knowledge in your field that's going to be mastered next?
A perfect thought to end on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
If you found this useful, please hit follow and share the show with a colleague. We really appreciate your support.
See you in the next episode.